Welcome back, everybody, to PSHCE. It's our Perseverance and Resilience unit of work, and it's lesson 4, and we're using Ish by Peter Reynolds. So, I'm curious as to how your ishes went, okay? So, if you look at some examples here, this is seahorse-ish, dino-ish, spike-ish, nosy-ish, jelly-ish, bluish, robot-ish, and sock-ish. Perseverance and resilience. So these are core values within school. Now, perseverance is the persistence in doing something, despite it being hard, despite it being difficult, and despite there being a delay in achieving success. And this is one of those things that we need to get into our heads, that we're very used to having things straight away, forgetting things straight away. And sometimes that's just not possible. Sometimes we actually have to work over quite a period of time to get what we want, to achieve what we want to achieve. It's not an instant gratification. And there's all sorts of pitfalls and things that go wrong along the way. So it's a bit like a roller coaster until we get to our end goal. So it's that ability to keep going despite the fact it's hard, or despite the fact that it takes a long time. Resilience is a capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. You're going to get those knocks in life, and you're going to get those days where it just didn't work out, and you're going to be gutted about it. You're going to feel a bit about it. Well, that's okay to feel like that, but then dust yourself off, you pick yourself up, and then you try again, and then you try again, and then eventually you will achieve this. And this, to be honest, is very similar to the learning pit, which is something that you've seen before. The thing is that every time you try something new, or you try a new challenge, it's something that you're not used to doing. And because you're not used to doing it, you're not quite necessarily sure how to tackle it or what some of the problems might be. So you might find that you learn a fair bit initially, and then all of a sudden you fall straight into a pit where you don't know how to fix it, you don't know how to solve it, you don't know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Now, it's at that point there where you have a choice. You can choose to just give up and forget about it. But if that's the case, then you're not going to learn a great deal, and you're never going to achieve anything that is new or worthwhile at the end of it. Or what you can do is take those small steps that we looked at last time, and bit by bit pull yourself out of the pit. You might require help for that. It might be a teacher, it might be a parent, it might be a friend, it might be a book that you need to look into. So you might require assistance and a helping hand or a ladder to get out of the pit. But nevertheless, by trying and keeping going and showing that resilience and that perseverance, you'll be able to get yourself out of the pit. And whilst you're doing that, you're doing what we call deep learning. Okay, you remember what worked and what didn't work, and then you can apply that to things again in the future. And at the end of it, when you get out of the pit, you've achieved what it is that you set out to do. So remember, not everything we do in life is always easy or straightforward, and it's about making sure that you keep going. So we all find things hard at times. All of us do. Everyone at some point or another finds something hard. That is a common truth across the board. For me, I've got to be honest with you, it was music when I was in secondary school. I just didn't get it. Honestly, I really didn't understand. And when they moved on to musical notation, to me, it was just like squiggles and lines. I've never really understood it. And as I became a teacher, as I got older, we obviously had to teach music, or at least we did back in the past. And with a lot of help, and I've got to be honest, a tremendous amount of patience from another teacher, I finally learned how to read some basic notation. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy, and it took a long, long time, and a bit of like crying into your hands, thinking I can't do this, okay? But eventually, that teacher really helped me to be able to read basic notation in music. Now, please don't get me wrong, I still can't play a musical instrument, and I still don't read it very easily, but at least I've now got an understanding about what it's about. And that took lots and lots of practice and lots of steps and lots of things going wrong. Okay, I found it a huge challenge, but it was a step up the ladder out of that learning pit and towards me being able to understand music within school and within life in general. So remember, you can choose to give up or preferably keep trying. So, emotions. When you try something, especially something that you've worked long and hard on, and it doesn't work out, you can become quite naturally very emotional. Okay, you can be frustrated, angry, that feeling of sadness and irritation. Well, trust me, that's absolutely normal. Everybody feels like that. So this is now about showing that resilience. It can be really hard when something's gone wrong and you're feeling angry and you're feeling dejected and frustrated and just like, ugh, to sort of pick yourself up. It can be incredibly difficult to show resilience and become resilient, but the rewards if you do so can be really great. In the process, you might find that you learn new skills. You become more flexible and skilled at problem solving. You've got ways of thinking around problems. So even though it hasn't worked, when it does, your emotions totally change. You all of a sudden go from being dejected and you've given up to that feeling of relief, joy, happiness, and that pride in having achieved something that you've had to work really hard for. It's almost like a feeling of triumph, and it's sweet. And most of all, you get a sense of achievement. It is definitely worth showing resilience. So your task, okay, ishful feelings. Mind map the different moods that people have, okay? Choose 3 different moods and ishly draw them. So for example, you might have stubborn-ish or happy-ish, okay? So good luck ishing doing this task. This is your sheet today. Each one of those boxes, you need to put an ish feeling in there. Please make sure though that you write down the feeling underneath. I'm taking a bit of a leaf out of the dot. Make sure you sign it. Part 2 is use the classroom ideas sheet for the classroom ideas sheet for ish, the one that I've just been through, and use the sheet that's here, the one with all the writing. So it's like a squigglish game, ishing, not dishing, ishful portraits, ishful gallery, ishful feelings. We've just done ishful feelings. So look at those 4 things: the squigglish game, ishing, not dishing, ishful portraits, ishful gallery. Choose your task on that, read it, and then have a go at putting it then into the frame that is on the second part of that sheet. And the important bit is here, be proud of your ish. You've given it a go, and it looks kind of like what you set out to do. That's an ish, and that's a stepping stone to resilience and to becoming better and better and better at things. So, and Ramon lived ishfully ever after. This is your classroom ideas for ish, so have a read through of those. Don't do the last one, ishful feelings, because we've already done that together. But choose one of those and then to put it into your gallery sheet here. Good luck. Good ishing. Bye-bye.